The average American car payment is now $750 a month. Over 6 years, that's $54,000 spent on a single car. But here's what almost no one calculates when they sign the loan papers. The actual cost isn't $54,000 like you think it is. It's closer to $430,000 in lost wealth. This isn't about whether you should buy a car or take the bus. It's about what happens to money when it moves one direction every month, and why that direction determines almost everything about your financial future over time. When you sign a car loan, you see the sticker price clearly enough. Let's say $35,000 for a decent mid-size sedan or SUV today. You put down $5,000 in cash to lower the monthly payment. You finance $30,000 at 7% interest for 6 long years. Your monthly payment lands at $750 like clockwork every month. Over 72 months, you'll pay $54,000 total to own it. That's $24,000 in interest and principal beyond your original down payment. Most people stop the math here and think they understand the full cost. But money doesn't just disappear when you spend it on car payments each month. It stops compounding, and that's where the real cost hides from plain sight. Every month, $750 leaves your control and goes to the bank or dealer. It can't be invested in stocks, bonds, or real estate that might grow. It can't earn returns that multiply over years into something much larger. It can't multiply into the future you're probably imagining for yourself and family. Here's the same $750, but moving the other direction into investment accounts. Invested monthly into the S&P 500 at 10% average return. After 6 years, you'd have $70,000 in investment assets under your control. After 15 years, that same monthly investment becomes $310,000. After 30 years of consistent investing, it becomes $1.7 million total. That's not a trick or some get-rich-quick scheme being sold online. That's just compound interest, the force Einstein called the eighth wonder of world. The car payment didn't cost you $54,000 like the paperwork said. It cost you the future that $54,000 could have built silently. But it doesn't stop at one car, because cars don't last forever practically. After 6 years, the car is paid off and you own it free clear. It's also aging faster now, with higher mileage and more repairs coming soon ahead. The desire for something newer, something safer, something better starts to grow inside you. So most people do it again without thinking about the pattern they've locked into. Another $750 a month, flowing out for another 6 years in payments. The average American replaces their car every 6 to 8 years through their lifetime. That's 4 to 5 cars over a working lifetime from 25 to retirement. 4 to 5 loan cycles where money flows out instead of compounding inward quietly. Run the numbers over 40 years and watch what happens to your wealth. 5 cars at $54,000 each equals $270,000 spent on transportation. But the opportunity costs the amount that money would have grown if invested instead. Over $4 million in lost wealth from one decision repeated 5 times quietly. And there's another force working against you that most people never even calculate. The car loses value the moment you drive it off the lot forever. New cars depreciate roughly 20% in the first year you own them. After 5 years, most cars lose 60% of their original sticker value. So you're not just paying $54,000 for a vehicle you need daily. You're paying $54,000 for an asset that becomes worth $14,000. You've converted $54,000 in cash into $14,000 in actual market value. That's a $40,000 loss before you even count opportunity cost compounding. Meanwhile, investments typically appreciate over time instead of losing value every year forward. Stocks historically grow over decades, despite short-term crashes that scare people away. Real estate historically grows in most markets when you zoom out far enough. Businesses historically grow when well managed and given enough time to mature properly. Cars historically shrink in value every single month you own them without exception. Here's where it compounds beyond math into something that affects your daily life. $750 a month is $750. You can't use for anything else. You can't invest it when the market crashes and everything goes on sale. You can't save it for emergencies that always come when you least expect. You can't deploy it when opportunities appear suddenly, like a business idea or property. It's locked for 6 years, every month, no matter what happens in life. Job loss, medical emergency, market crash, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity doesn't matter at all. The payment is still due on the first of every month, like clockwork. This is called cash flow restriction, and it's one of the quietest killers. Because wealth isn't just about how much you earn from your job or business. It's about how much you control and can move when timing matters most. Most people justify the payment with income, and that feels reasonable at first. I make $5,000 a month, so I can afford $750. Sounds perfectly logical. But affordability isn't the question you should be asking yourself about car payments. The question is, what else could that $750 do for you over time? If you make $60,000 a year and spend $9,000 on payments annually, that's 15% of your gross income before taxes and deductions get taken. After taxes, it's closer to 20% of your actual take-home pay. 1/5 of your working life spent on depreciating transportation that loses value. And here's the trap that catches high earners even harder than everyone else. The more you earn, the more expensive the car you think you deserve. 100,000 income equals 50,000 car seems perfectly reasonable to most people. 200,000 income equals 80,000 car, and the cycle scales upward forever. The payment scales with status, but the opportunity cost scales even faster exponentially. Now consider a different scenario where you make one different choice at the start. You buy a $10,000 used car in cash with no loan, no payment, no interest, no 6-year obligation hanging over your head every month. You take that same $750 a month and invest it consistently every month. After 6 years, $70,000 in investments, earning returns, compounding forward silently. Your car is worth maybe $5,000 now, but your net position is positive. $65,000 positive, plus full cash flow control to move when opportunity knocks. The person with the new car has spent $54,000 over those years. Their car is worth $14,000 if they're lucky in today's used market. Their net position is negative $40,000, and they have no liquidity at all. The wealth gap between these two people after 6 years isn't $54,000. It's over $100,000 from the same income, same time period. One decision at a car dealership on a random Saturday afternoon, years ago. This isn't about judging people who finance cars, because most people do it. It's about understanding the system that makes it feel normal and even smart. Dealers advertise monthly payments, not total cost, because psychology works on everyone always. Just $499 a month sounds manageable and easy to fit into budget. $35,000 sounds expensive and triggers hesitation in the buyer's mind immediately. So they hide the big number behind the small one on purpose. Loan terms keep stretching longer every decade to make payments feel even smaller. 30 years ago, the average car loan was 3 years and people paid off. Now it's 6 years and some loans stretch to 8 years or longer. Longer terms equal lower monthly payments, but exponentially more interest paid over time. And 0% financing offers that look like free money aren't actually free. The cost is baked into the sticker price you negotiate before financing gets discussed. You're still paying, you just can't see it clearly in the final numbers. The system is designed to make financing feel painless, and it works extremely well. 85% of new cars in America are financed or leased, not bought, which means 85% of car buyers are paying interest fees, opportunity cost. Here's the deeper layer that most people never see until it's too late. Once you have a car payment, it becomes your baseline, your new normal spending. You adapt to it, you budget around it, and it becomes invisible over time. And when the loan ends, the $750 doesn't automatically get invested like magic. It gets absorbed into lifestyle inflation without you even noticing the change happening. A nicer apartment, more dining out, a vacation fund, or another car payment starts. The payment becomes permanent, even though the car doesn't last forever, like you hoped. That's the real trap, not the first 6 years, but the next 40 ahead. There's also a psychological shift that happens when you carry debt for years. You start to see monthly obligations as normal, as just part of being adult. Car payment, mortgage payment, credit card payment, student loan payment, streaming services, phone bill. They all blend together into a baseline cost of living you accept without question. And each one, by itself, seems small enough to justify to yourself daily. But together, they create a cage made of monthly minimums you can't escape. The car payment isn't just taking $750, it's training you to accept, to normalize debt as a permanent feature of your financial life going forward. Every year you spend making payments is a year not building true wealth. And the compounding works both ways, forward into wealth or backward into dependence. The person who pays cash and invests gains freedom with every passing month. The person who finances loses freedom with every payment they make on time. One is building options, the other is locking them away for 6 years. Here's what happens when you remove the payment from your life completely forever. You suddenly have margin room to breathe when things don't go as planned. Margin means you can take a lower-paying job you actually enjoy more. Margin means you can start a business without risking everything you own immediately. Margin means you can help family weather an emergency without going under yourself. Margin means you can invest aggressively when markets crash and assets go on sale. The wealthiest people in the world don't have car payments, they have car collections. They buy assets that appreciate and pay cash for things that depreciate always. They understand that payments are the opposite of wealth, no matter how affordable. Because affordable today becomes expensive tomorrow when you count what you gave up. The car payment isn't keeping you poor because $750 is too much money. It's keeping you poor because $750 invested builds wealth faster than income. It's keeping you poor because it trains you to accept debt as normal. It's keeping you poor because it removes the margin you need to build. Most people will spend more on cars over their lifetime than they invest, and then wonder why retirement feels impossible despite decades of hard, consistent work. The math isn't complicated, it's just invisible, until someone shows you the numbers. Wealth isn't built by what you earn from your job or business ventures. It's built by what you keep, and what you keep compounds silently over decades. A car payment is the opposite of compounding wealth. It's reverse compounding working against. It's your future sold monthly for a depreciating asset that loses value every day. This doesn't mean never buy a car, because cars are useful, necessary tools. It means understanding what you're trading when you sign the loan papers that day. You're not trading $54,000 for a car you'll drive daily. You're trading the future that $54,000 could create if invested instead wisely. And once you see it, you can't unsee it anymore in your life. Every payment becomes a choice between now and later, between present and future you, between the car and the compound, between looking wealthy and being wealthy, actually. The question isn't, can you afford the payment right now, this month, today? The question is, can you afford what the payment costs you over time? Welcome to Luxona, the Netflix of finance.